The smoke from the battlefield still hung heavy in the air, a bitter mix of ozone, charred metal, and the stench of alien blood. Private Daniel Hayes staggered forward, his rifle clutched loosely in his trembling hands. His armor was scorched, dented, and patched with drying blood, not all of it his own. He was supposed to be dead like the rest of his squad. But fate, or sheer human stubbornness, had kept him moving. The ruins of the alien citadel loomed ahead, once a beacon of strength on this war-torn planet. Now its grand spires were cracked and crumbling, its gates blown inward by human siege engines. Daniel's orders had been simple: breach, destroy, and leave nothing standing. And yet, as he limped through the wreckage, a sound reached him. A faint, broken whimper. His instinct screamed to ignore it. The battle was over. The enemy defeated. He was bleeding and exhausted. But something in that sound clawed at his chest, pulling him deeper into the ruins. He found himself moving toward a shattered throne chamber. There, amidst broken crystal and pools of violet blood, lay a figure. She was tall, her body draped in shredded royal silks now darkened with dust and wounds. Her silver-white hair clung to her face, once flawless but now marred by cuts and bruises. Her crown, half melted and broken, lay discarded at her side. Her hands trembled as she tried to push herself up, but her strength was gone. Her eyes, luminescent gold, met his. The stories had called her the Empress of 1,000 Suns, a ruthless sovereign who commanded fleets across the galaxy. To humans, she was a symbol of tyranny. Yet in that moment, she looked nothing like the unbreakable legend. She looked weak. She looked broken. And Daniel, the last surviving soldier of his unit, did something unthinkable. He dropped his rifle. The beginning of mercy. The Queen's lips parted, and a hiss escaped her throat. The alien tongue was strange, but Daniel had spent long months studying the basics of her people's language. "Human," she rasped. "Finish it." Her voice was commanding even in ruin, though faint and strained. Daniel shook his head, stepping closer. "I'm not going to kill you." Her golden eyes widened. "Mercy. From a human." She coughed, spitting violet blood onto the floor. "You slaughtered my legions, my guards, my people. And now you hesitate." Daniel knelt beside her, pulling a ration pack from his belt. He ripped it open, ignoring the sharp pain that flared in his ribs. "If I wanted you dead, I'd have walked away. You'd bleed out within the hour." The Queen stared at him in disbelief as he pressed a nutrient bar into her hand. Her fingers trembled as she touched it, clearly unused to such gestures. "Eat," Daniel muttered. "You'll need your strength." She gave a bitter laugh that turned into another cough. "Strength for what? My empire is ashes. My throne shattered. And now a human soldier plays the savior." Daniel met her gaze with surprising calm. "Because I couldn't save anyone else today." Something flickered in her expression, a crack in the armor of her pride. The escape. The ruins were far from safe. Distant explosions echoed through the valley, and the night sky burned with streaks of fire from falling warships. Human forces were withdrawing, leaving only wreckage behind. Daniel knew if command found out he had spared the alien queen, they'd brand him a traitor. Worse, if her remaining forces discovered him here, they'd tear him apart. But he couldn't leave her. He stripped off pieces of his own armor to fashion makeshift bandages for her wounds. Every time his fingers brushed her skin, she flinched, yet said nothing. Her pride kept her silent, but her eyes followed him with an intensity he could feel. When she tried to stand, her legs buckled instantly. Without hesitation, Daniel slipped his arms under her and lifted her. She was tall, statuesque, yet frighteningly light in his arms, as though starvation and battle had hollowed her out. She made a noise of protest. "Put me down. I am no fragile hatchling." "Quiet," Daniel snapped. "You'll slow us both down. Let me do this." Her jaw tightened, unused to being commanded. Yet she didn't argue further. Through ruined streets and smoldering corridors, Daniel carried her, pausing only when patrols passed too close. He could hear her breathing against his chest, ragged and uneven, each inhale a reminder of her fragility. At one point she whispered, "Why? Why save me?" Daniel didn't answer right away. Finally he murmured, "Because no one else would." The Queen's doubt. They found shelter in the hollow remains of a transport hangar. Daniel lowered her gently against a wall and collapsed beside her. His body screamed for rest, but his mind remained sharp. The Queen studied him with wary curiosity. "Human," she said softly. "You defy logic. You should despise me. Yet you fight for my life." Daniel stared at the cracked ceiling above. "I don't care about thrones or empires. Care about people. And right now, you're a person who needs help." Her golden eyes softened just a fraction. "Among my kind, weakness is despised. Mercy is a word spoken only in mockery. To show kindness is to invite betrayal." "Then maybe that's why you lost," Daniel replied bluntly. The silence between them stretched long. For the first time, the Empress of 1,000 Suns had no retort. Fragile alliance. Days passed. Daniel scavenged supplies, sneaking through abandoned camps and ruined cities while avoiding both sides' patrols. Each time, he returned to the hangar with food, water, or medicine. The Queen's wounds began to heal. Her strength returned in small, steady measures. Yet she remained bound to him, relying on his strange, stubborn loyalty. She asked him questions late at night, when exhaustion made his answers more honest. "Why do humans fight with such fire, even when death is certain?" she asked once. Daniel thought for a moment. "Because we hate being told where we can't stand." Another night. "Do you fear me? Even now?" He met her gaze across the firelight. "I'd be stupid not to. But fear doesn't mean I won't help you." For the first time she smiled, faint, reluctant but real. The final confrontation. On the 7th day, the hangar was discovered. A squad of human soldiers stormed the ruins, rifles raised. Daniel leapt to his feet, placing himself between them and the Queen. "Hayes!" the sergeant barked. "You're alive. What the hell are you doing here? Wait. Is that?" His eyes locked on the Queen, widening with horror. "That's the Empress. Kill her." Daniel's heart thundered. He spread his arms wide, shielding her with his own body. "No." The soldiers froze in disbelief. "Move, Hayes. She's worth more dead than 100 of us alive." Daniel stood firm. His voice shook, but his resolve did not. "You don't understand. She's not what they told us. She's not just a symbol or a monster. Just someone. Someone who deserves a chance." The Queen, still weak, stared at his back in shock. No one had ever stood between her and death before. The sergeant's rifle shook. "You've lost it, Hayes. Step aside or I swear." Suddenly, the Queen rose unsteadily to her feet, placing a hand on Daniel's shoulder. Her golden eyes burned with a fierce light. "Enough," she declared. Her voice carried the authority of a ruler even in ruin. "If you want my life, you will take it over his dead body. And if that is the cost, then know this: I will not die quietly." The soldiers hesitated. Fear rippled through them, not of her strength but of her defiance.